I know how it feels when you finally decide to upgrade your driveway gate, only to end up with a cheap motor that stalls halfway through the night or a remote that never seems to pair. The regret of that wasted cash sticks around every time you pull up to the curb, and it makes you wonder if you should have just lived with a manual gate forever. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. And today I'm going to walk through whether the Ghost Controls Pro Series automatic gate opener actually lives up to the promise of being a smarter buy. When I started looking into automated swing gates, the first thing I noticed was how many kits on the market try to be one size fits all, but then fall short on the everyday hurdles homeowners actually face. You're not just buying a motor. You're buying a system that has to survive rain, temperature swings, occasional power outages, and the occasional dog that decides to chew on a cable. That's why the Ghost Controls LDM2K kit caught my eye. It's marketed as a dual gate opener that can handle 2 swing leaves, it's solar capable, and Ghost claims the installation is straightforward enough for a DIYer with basic tools. The question is whether those claims hold up when you mount the hardware on a real property. First off, the kit comes with everything you need to get both leaves moving: a motor unit, 2 arm brackets, a control box, and a wireless remote. The packaging is organized so you can match each part to the illustrated guide without hunting for missing pieces. For a homeowner who's already measured the swing radius and knows the gate weight, that completeness is a real time saver. I've seen other brands ship just the motor and expect you to buy the brackets and wiring separately, which adds hidden cost and confusion. With Ghost Controls, you can lay out the whole system on the driveway and see exactly where each component belongs before you start drilling. Installation is genuinely doable for someone comfortable with a drill and a level. The brackets bolt onto the gate's existing hinge plates, and the motor mounts to the post with a few pre-drilled holes. The biggest snag I ran into was routing the power cable through a metal post that didn't have a pre-drilled conduit. I had to drill a small hole myself, which added an extra step, but the instructions gave a clear diagram of the recommended path. If your gate is already equipped with a power source nearby, the wiring portion is almost painless. If not, you'll need to run a conduit from your house or rely on the solar panel option. Speaking of solar, the LDM2K includes a small solar panel that can keep the system powered in off-grid scenarios. In practice, the panel works best when it gets at least 4 to 5 hours of direct sunlight a day. On a cloudy, shaded lot I tested, the gate still opened reliably during the day, but the battery drained enough that the motor hesitated after sunset. That's a realistic trade-off. The solar feature is great for homes with good sun exposure, but you shouldn't count on it as the sole power source if your gate sits under trees or a roof overhang. The kit does come with a backup battery, so you won't be completely stranded, but you'll notice a slight delay as the system draws power from the reserve. The remote control is simple: 1 button for open, 1 for close, and a lock function that disables the motor when you want to keep the gate closed manually. The range is about 150 feet in open air, which is plenty for a typical suburban driveway. In my test, the signal held up fine even with a car parked between the remote and the gate, though a dense metal fence did cut the range down to roughly 80 feet. If you live in a large estate with multiple driveways, you might need a repeater or a secondary remote, but for most single driveway setups, the included remote is sufficient. One of the practical strengths of this system is the Smart Control Box, which lets you set a timer for the gate to automatically close after a set period. That feature came in handy when a delivery driver needed a few extra minutes to unload. I set a 5-minute delay, and the gate closed itself without me having to remember to hit the button. It's not a full-blown home automation integration, but the basic scheduling saves you from leaving the gate open all night. The control box also flashes an error code if something goes wrong, and the troubleshooting guide is clear enough to pinpoint whether the issue is a low battery, a misaligned arm, or a blocked sensor. On the downside, the system lacks a built-in battery status indicator. You can tell the battery is low when the motor stutters, but there's no LED or app that tells you the exact charge level. That means you have to keep an eye on performance trends, especially if you rely on solar power during winter months. Additionally, the motor's torque rating is adequate for